Well, now, on tour with me always, I have a very talented young man, Peter Elliot. Well, you know him as a singer and performer, but I don't think you knew that he represented England in the 1952 Olympics as a diver.
Very nice of you.
Well, on our last tour, Pete and I took some movie films, as before, of us, the two of us, in a pool.
Listen, talking about those movie films, remember this picture?
Oh, yeah, that was the start of it all, huh?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, here we are in the pool. As you can see, it was beautifully decorated with flowers and plants, sun cuts and deck chairs.
And beautiful girls.
I'll cut that out, Peter. Well, Peter is showing me the correct form to use when diving.
And looking at those girls, there were so many forms to choose from.
Peter. Well, he's about to show us how he dived at the Olympics. Look at him. You've heard of Gorgeous George. Well, meet Puny Pete.
Thanks, Mr. Muscles.
I'm only kidding. There he goes. Great. What a dive, what form. Beautiful.
So are the girls. Hey, there's one girl there called Tootsie.
Tootsie?
Well, not really, but it's the name of my new record.
Naturally. But the girls were certainly enjoying watching Peter. So was I.
There was one girl at the back there. She wasn't saying much.
Well, she didn't know much.
I'd be glad to teach her.
I hope you're talking about diving.
Of course. Wait a minute. Isn't this where I do another dive?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there you go. Well, I was getting a big kick out of all this until Peter tried to ask me to make me dive.
I knew you could do it. Look at this. Cliff Richards, boy diver.
Sure. Well, as you can see, I was dying to try. Well, anyway, I was dying. Well, this is the time when a fella needs a friend. But Peter was very, very convincing. And so was that towel he was beating me with.
You look great there. But no need to hold your nose. The dive won't be that bad.
Hey, look, Tarzan of the Apes.
Wish I was getting his salary.
Well, the girls seem to like the dive. What did you think of it, Pete?
You look like the nicest frog I've ever seen.
Thank you. And yet you wouldn't let me stop, would you? You made me try it again.
Well, if anything happened to you, I may be a big recording star.
My pal. Well, something seemed to distract Pete. I couldn't understand it. But in he went. And in went Cliff Richard to the rescue. Hey, Pete, tell me one thing. Why were you struggling so much?
I lost my trunks.
I'm glad you found them again. You know, it proves one thing. When you're diving, you've got to concentrate. But not on girls.
Thank goodness those girls were there to comfort me.
Yeah, what could we have done without them?
I have loved the ladies dearly, and I've courted them sincerely. If you need proof, I'll show you my canceled checks. I dearly love the opposite sex. If they are tall and slinky, and they just move a pinky, I must behave like a man who's under a hex. I simply love the opposite sex. I've got a thirst in me that's an unquenchable thing. I'm awfully fond of blondes and seems the fonder they get, the blonder they get. There is something about the gender that causes my surrender. All of my runaway muscles refuse to flex. It's just no good, my dodging it, no good camouflaging it. I'll never quit loving the opposite sex. I've got a thirst in me that's an unquenchable thing. I'm awfully fond of blondes and seems the fonder they get, the blonder they get. There is something about the gender that causes my surrender. All of my runaway muscles refuse to flex. There's just no good, my dodging it, no good camouflaging it. I'll never quit loving the opposite sex. I'll never quit loving the opposite sex. I'll never quit loving the opposite sex. Oh, we'll never quit loving the opposite sex.